Hey everybody, it's Perch, and we're looking at Fantastic Four 14. And I thought this would be a good issue to kind of review, check in on how things have gone. The Fantastic Four relaunch has not gone to plan, so to speak, with kind of a very quick artist change. They made a big deal about Pinchetti being part of the book. Dan Slott going to come and kind of revitalize the Fantastic Four, put a focus back in the classic story. But then Pinchetti vanished rather quickly, has gone on to do this J.J. Abrams and Son book with Spider-Man. A lot of speculation was she was leaving. But, Paco Medina is a decent, quite more than a decent artist. I think quite good. We got a Mike Deodato cover here. And then It Begins Here, Point of Origin. It's a storyline. Don't know how many issues this is going to run. We don't know how far. Let's go with 6. Let's just assume it's 6. But before we get into this comic, I think Fantastic Four, as we talked about, it's been one that struggled quite a bit. And it had a good run with Hickman when he was doing it and kind of brought family and science back into the mix, laid the groundwork for what he would do with the Avengers and kind of Reed Richards and how he was battling the collapse of the universe, and just introduced a lot of pretty amazing things. I think the whole kind of revitalization of the Inhumans, and Hickman opened up the toy box and gave Marvel a lot of toys to play with, which were then kind of squandered or thrown away or forgotten about rather quickly. Same thing with Secret Wars. I think Hickman's going to go down as this creator who comes in and does really big concept stuff, but then the company either doesn't keep paying him or he wanders away. I don't know what the case is, but he vanishes, and then people don't do things with what he's created. Secret Wars was a wonderful kind of scrub the deck clean and do some big amazing things with it. And it almost from the beginning, it felt like some of the creators were rebelling against it. Bendis's X-Men plans just seemed to kind of deliberately give the finger to what Hickman did. It was weird how Hickman had Cyclops kind of both redeem himself, use the Phoenix Egg, tapped into some things that were pretty big concept Grant Morrison ideas in just a few panels within his issues. There was really something to get excited about, and then nothing. It just kind of went nowhere. The issue that started up after Secret Wars was like, okay, forget all that stuff. Let's get back to that Trial of the Beast and what's going on with Bobby. It was just disappointing. But anyway, Fantastic Four, Dan Slott, he said it's had a tough run. So this issue, just having read through it, it's got good parts and bad parts. And it's weird how almost bipolar this comic is. So we'll get into it. Great, got a nice little lead in here. And then we're taken to what is both a good and a bad idea at the same time. So this is kind of the Fantastic Four. The family is assembled here, and they're cutting the ribbon on their first rocket, which has been donated or provided to this museum, the rocket where they, gain their powers. And this is, the family is there. It's science. It's tapping into the history. There's a lot of good elements to what they're doing here. This feels, like the Fantastic Four and the kind of thing they've been involved in with community. And if you read the John Byrne run, it has that feeling to it. If there's any negative to Hickman's run, it was almost too super science. It left out the human element. So this brings that back. The human element is here. We still got Franklin with his dyed hair, and he's acting all rebellious and so on. And so as the issue goes in, and we won't look at every page here, but Reed is nostalgic and appreciating it. And the kids are going, "Oh, this is dumb." I feel like Slott, kind of doesn't. He's got one mode for kids. The kids are both like, "Oh, this is boring. I'm out. Well, goodbye." This doesn't sound like either of the kids. This doesn't sound like Val. This doesn't sound like Franklin. It just doesn't sound right at all. So Reed's getting nostalgic, and then here's kind of the other really goofy part. So again, this is these family down-to-earth moments. Ben and Alicia are kind of checking out the rocket, and Ben's going, this is he's more interested in the other ships. He's kind of understandably, mixed feelings about the one he flew up in that caused his powers, and that's a good moment. And then we go right into this kid like, check out the monster. I thought it was an animatronic, but it's like a monster for real. How? Again, You live in the Marvel universe. You've seen the Thing. The Thing is a major character of the Marvel universe for 50, 60, 20, 10, however long the continuity is, many, many years. And this isn't how kids would act. It's just weird. We're going back to kind of the Fantastic Four from the first 10 issues or so when people are like, oh, what's that? Everybody knows what the Thing is. Everybody knows who he is. And it's like, Ben, I'm sorry. Oh, I'm used to it. Yeah, we're used to it too. So stop bringing it up in the comic. It just feels weird. And then they got the black box recording, and he's listening to himself. And when the accident happened, and understandably, he's mad, and he kind of, walks away. He's frustrated, and same thing. Then we get this other weird moment where again Johnny Storm is being approached by the two pilots who were going to fly the rocket, but in Fantastic Four history, they took it away instead. We got Sue Storm in here in her underwear. Sorry, but they're going back and forth with, hey, sorry about that. We took your spots. Hey, you two could have been in the Fantastic Four. And he's like, oh man, you did us a favor. We've got kids now and normal lives, and we were able to live our normal lives, and you guys are up there. And it's like one of us might have been a creature like the Thing. It's like, oh, you take that back. He's a hero. And it's like this moment just feels bizarre on all fronts. This doesn't correspond with this family that's been going on. So anyway, we get Sue in her underwear. So we get some stuff going on. I'll skip some pages here. I don't want to go through the whole issue. Reed decides he's going to start building another rocket. More. We're going to build the rocket stuff. Here's Ghost Rider. That's coming. Aaron Kuder. I like his art, but his face. There's something about his work that just doesn't click for me like it should. I think this title will be better for him. The kind of the more supernatural type stuff. I think it plays more to his strengths. So I'm looking forward to that. You seeing how it goes. Johnny Blaze and Danny Ketch. Yeah, sure. Yeah, bring the classics back. Why not? So more and more. So here's this. By the way, sorry. Here's the Young Guns. And I'm not going to even bother trying to pronounce some of these names. But Russell Dowderman. I think there's a place for him in certainly doing certain comics, but he's doing the Marauders covers, and it looks just bizarre to me. Maybe it's just me. I think he does figure work and poses and action and kind of that kind of stuff really, really well. And then there's She-Hulk over here, and it's just there's some he's very hot and cold on stuff. I like his Wolverine. I like his Black Panther. I think his Thor's all right, but his Valkyrie, maybe that's the way he draws women. I don't know. There's something. They all have the same face. Like people get after other artists for tracing and other things, and he's not a tracer by any stretch of imagination. But all the faces are the same. Anyway, sorry. This is about Fantastic Four. Look, we get some more talking, and basically Reed's got his big idea. Hey, we've got the new ship, the Marvel 2, the new ship that. We've rebuilt it, the one that took us into space, and let's go into space again and have an original mission again. I'm curious about the scale here. You see them? They're here, and I don't think this works when they're in the cockpit. Well, it's perspective, I guess. I don't know. Anyway, I do like this artist a lot. Sorry, I'm banging it. But once again, the kids are like, well, I'm out. And it's like, again, for super science, it just doesn't match. Like, are we doing Franklin as a rebellious teenager? Is that kind of the storyline we're going with here? I don't know. No thanks. And Ben's not into it too, but he's not going. But then they've replaced him with Herbie, so that Ben's gonna go now. So sure enough, we're gonna strap in. We're gonna launch into space. 4, 3, 2, 1. Let's go have our adventure. Let's go. Boom. Now, if there's a rocket ship blasting off from an apartment in Yancey Street, I'm pretty sure all these people are dead. Like straight up, they don't say that Reed Richards put like a little force field there to protect from all the smoke. But, from an environmental standpoint, Reed's a supervillain. 2, he just killed all these people. I'm just saying they are all dead. But hey, travel to the edge. So off they go, and this is going to be the start of a new storyline where apparently they're going back into space, and we're going to complete the mission of where they were planning to go when they hit the cosmic storm. So kind of a redo of that mission. And we get a little like, hey, here's some stuff going on in the next issue. And then this weird Axe body spray hero. I don't get that. But so it's a weird issue because you're talking from somebody who really wants the Fantastic Four to work, who likes the Fantastic Four, who in many cases, that and classic X-Men. Some of these issues just have very fond memories. The whole Sue Storm becomes Malice, and the Puppet Master, and Psycho Man. Just a lot of and of course Doctor Doom and all the rest of that stuff. You got some really great stuff during these runs that I really loved, and I liked. On the other hand, what Hickman did when he opened up the toy box and just put a lot of huge elements up. I like all that stuff. So it's not Hickman. It is a kind of the return to the family. So in that regard, I think Dan Slott's writing it well. I think he's trying to bring back the kind of the human family element, that this isn't just some random team. This is a family that's together. On the other hand, he's relying on some tropes of, oh, Johnny's a hothead. Oh, people call Ben a monster, which just don't really make any sense anymore. It's like that was one of the things I liked about the Hickman run, is they kind of moved away from the Thing is a monster, because it at this point it wouldn't add up. So I think there's promise, I guess. We're going to go back and we're going to do that mission again, and I think that's an interesting take. It's not one that we've necessarily done before, so I think that's cool that they're going to go and kind of whatever they were doing. We got a little bit of the. Here's what I like as opposed to Iron Man that Slott's also writing. I think we're being promised a adventure that is going to reveal something about the Fantastic Four's past that is not a big retcon, or, well, at least not yet, not some kind of big gotcha. It's something that is a legitimate hole in their past that I think will be pretty interesting to go and do. On the downside, it doesn't feel right. I mean, the tone doesn't feel right. It is an entire issue of kind of people talking at each other. And I mean, okay, there's nothing wrong with that. I'm not one of those guys. I'm not. Some comic reviewers are like, I've gone 3 pages. There's not action, explosions, throw it in the garbage. I'm not that person. I think, talking issues can be fine. But then if we're doing a talking issue, the characters and the dialogue and the tone and how they're being treated together does start to really matter. And kind of the way the kids are portrayed, the way that kind of the dynamic between the characters it feels like each character is getting their kind of 5 lines that they get reads super science smart. Oops, I'm pointing to Johnny. Reads super smart, sciencey stuff. Yay. Sue, supportive wife stuff. Johnny, hothead stuff. Ben, kind of lovable monster. It's like, it's a little bit too much the same old stuff. And I think, you want to have them push somewhere. You want to have them do some new things. And you want the same old stuff to make sense. A kid calling Ben Grimm a monster at this stage does not make any sense. And, and the Franklin Val stuff it feels like we're wasting some great character development that went on with both kids. And now it's just kind of, nowhere. Just doesn't make sense. I think the part about the Fantastic Four that Dan Slott had said in an early interview that I was looking forward to is going to say, hey, there's at least most of this family, Reed, Sue, the kids, they were off in space doing super amazing things in space and recreating the multiverse and all of that. And, it's bonded them in ways that are going to be really interesting to explore. And then we got to bring, Reed and Ben, or sorry, I got just confused, Johnny and Ben back into the mix. How is that all going to work? And let's get some of that together. That's kind of the promise. And instead what we've got is the Fantastic Four is living in an apartment on Yancey Street, blowing rockets off into space and incinerating that whole part of the town. And, Ben's still a monster and Reed's doing wacky stuff. And the kids are being, teenagers with too much screen time. I don't know. This could go somewhere. I like Fantastic Four. I'm hoping it's going well. Paco Medina, I think, is very solid. I think, really good artwork here. I think just very, go right back to her boobs here. Very, very solid. There's Party City. Nice. Okay. I mean, just, it looks good. I mean, do the characters all look perfect? No, not quite. But I like it. I like that we got Reed looking like a scientist, like he not like some weird, stoned hipster. Like he's kind of been looking. I mean, just characters look good, and he draws a lot of look. There's detail. There's not, when he does have a blank background like here, it's because it is appropriate to cause the main characters to pop and the confetti there. I don't feel on any level that that he's shirking on the detail. I think Paco Medina is a really solid artist that knows his craft, knows how to use kind of, he's listening to the black box recording. He's happy, proud, darkening, back to background. It's just, this is a solid artist, but the comic is just not, it's just missing some element. On the bright side, much better than Iron Man. That comic is a train wreck right now, but this is good. So I have high hopes for this storyline. Kind of gives us some nice family science fiction, good stuff. Maybe if they're away from Earth, we can get out of the kind of the tone deaf description of Franklin and Val and the goofiness with kind of people calling Ben a monster and all that. So here's hoping. That's Fantastic Four number 14. Legacy issue, what are we at? 659. Okay, sounds good. Thanks for watching this time, and hope you're all doing well. If you have a comment or something you'd like to like, subscribe, click the bell for notifications, leave me a comment, follow me on Twitter at Comic Perch. Thanks for listening.